Launched in 2010, Instagram has grown into a social media titan with 1.2 billion users worldwide. But it was this critical move in 2012 that supercharged its growth: Instagram's acquisition by Facebook, now known as Meta. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg wasn't just buying another trendy app, he was setting in motion a master plan to corner the social media market. His strategy grew Meta's influence significantly, eventually obtaining platforms like WhatsApp, Oculus, and 80 additional companies. Zuckerberg is fully aware of Twitter's immense influence over millions of users and aims to rival Twitter, entering its market with Instagram Threads. Zuck's power grab becomes even more blatant with his ongoing project, the Metaverse. It extends beyond owning multiple social media networks. It's about building and ruling a whole new digital reality. So, why is this problematic? Isn't it just another typical billionaire? Well, turns out, Meta's actions tell a different story. From allegations of censoring informational posts during major events like the COVID pandemic, to being accused of shadow banning whole accounts in order to silence certain political narratives, Meta's actions haven't been those of a neutral entity. What happens when a single company not only owns the platforms we use, but also wields control over the information we see and the discussions we have? It's evident that Meta has a political agenda of their own, as we see the censorship of accounts with ideologies alternative to that of the mainstream. Zuckerberg creating a monopoly over social networks and our communication infrastructure means he has personal, unchecked power to regulate the information that reaches us and the influence we have as users on these platforms. In 2013, whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed that intelligence agencies were harnessing the power of social media platforms for mass surveillance, leading to a global conversation about privacy, security, and the role these platforms play in our lives. Meta's Facebook has been a force of transformation in the social media world since its debut. Starting as a college-only platform back in 2004, the site expanded its reach in less than 2 years to the general public and is now regularly used by 37.2% of the world's population. What truly revolutionized the game was the company's aggressive acquisition strategy. After purchasing Instagram in 2012, Meta began to consolidate its place in the social media market. Instagram's user-friendly interface and innovative features made it a beloved platform, but under Meta's ownership, it became a powerhouse. By 2018, Instagram boasted 1 billion users. Meanwhile, in 2014, Meta made another strategic move by acquiring WhatsApp, signaling its ambitions to establish dominance not just in social media, but also in the digital communication market. The rebranding of Facebook to Meta Platforms in 2021 wasn't just a name change, it marked a significant shift, signaling the dawn of a new era, an era where Mark Zuckerberg's aspirations stretch far beyond mere dominance in social media. His ambitions now encompass the pursuit for absolute control over every facet of digital interactions. Instagram Threads isn't just another app, it's a strategic move, a chess piece in Zuckerberg's game to command every aspect of social interaction. And to truly understand its significance, we need to first look at its primary rival, Twitter. Twitter has long been a dominant force in the social media industry. Despite having fewer users than Facebook or Instagram, its influence is massive. It's the platform where major news breaks, where presidents and billionaires beef, where global dialogues occur in real time. From prime ministers to celebrities, from journalists to activists, Twitter is the platform where influential voices converse and engage with the public. Threads poses a direct challenge to Twitter's unique selling point. It's an Instagram spin-off designed specifically for sharing text updates and joining public conversations. The inspiration is obvious, with a layout similar to Twitter's tweets and Threads features. On Meta's site, it says, quote, "Our vision with Threads is to take what Instagram does best and expand that to text, creating a positive and creative space to express your ideas," end quote. This is a direct gut punch to Elon Musk. The goal? To take the intimate rapid-fire conversations happening on Twitter and bring them into the Instagram ecosystem, under Zuck's control. Threads' goal is to lure all of Twitter's user base in, expanding Meta's share of the social media usage time. But here's the thing. Instagram Threads isn't just about taking on Twitter or Elon Musk. It's about gaining more control and more personal data on users. ultimately more influence over the social media monopoly. Zuck already has 6 of the 9 big platforms, with Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and now with Instagram Threads, he's got his hands on even more control. Threads is directly connected to your Instagram account, making the transfer practically hassle-free. Many celebrities like Travis Scott, Selena Gomez, and hundreds of other influencers are already on the platform, drawing in all of their Instagram followers. Every conversation, every image shared, every emoji sent through Threads is data. Data that is then leveraged to shape users' online experiences and to regulate the content they see. Such comprehensive data collection raises questions about privacy, consent, and the potential for manipulation or exploitation of user info. Threads is another building block in Zuck's quest to monopolize social media. It's a part of the narrative of control, designed with the intention to guarantee that regardless of where we turn for our social media needs, we are always playing in his backyard. As previously mentioned, Meta already owned 5 major social media platforms popular globally. That's no accident. It's a coordinated strategy to dominate the social media space, and with Instagram Threads, Zuck is attempting to add another to his list. Meta's strategy of replication extends beyond just Twitter. Snapchat Stories is another platform mirrored by Instagram in 2016, with the introduction of Instagram Stories. Despite initial criticism, Instagram Stories quickly gained popularity and now carries over 500 million daily users, overshadowing Snapchat's entire user base. Similarly, Meta looked into online classified giants like Craigslist and Kijiji when developing Facebook Marketplace. Launched in 2016, Marketplace allowed Facebook's massive user base to buy, sell, and trade within their local communities directly from their Facebook accounts. Facebook Marketplace, in many regions, is now considered the largest contender in the digital marketplace business. These examples illustrate Meta's strategy: replicate, integrate, and dominate. The rise of Instagram Threads seems to follow this formula, signaling Meta's intention to monopolize the tech-sharing digital space by once again absorbing the success-defining features of its competitors into its own platforms. By doing so, Meta continues to consolidate its influence over our digital interactions. This approach doesn't just affect social media, it also impacts online commerce, video sharing, and now, with Zuckerberg's ambition of the Metaverse, our overall digital existence. But why does this monopolistic ambition matter? The answer to that lies in what Meta has already been doing with its enormous power. Meta has been involved in numerous instances where they've censored specific narratives and content. A strong example is the platform's handling of information during 2020. Meta placed restrictions on speech related to the virus, censoring and removing posts that disagreed with the mainstream narrative on the subject. While this was explained by them as a necessary step to combat misinformation, Meta was selectively silencing voices, including those of licensed medical professionals, and played a significant role in controlling the narrative on a global issue. That brings us to an important question. Who gets to decide what misinformation is? The term misinformation wasn't always around. Its usage increased notably in the 1900s when mass media such as radios and TVs were becoming more popular. During the 20th century, governments recognized the power of mass media and propaganda and its capability to shape public opinion. In times of war or conflict, governments have often employed propaganda to manipulate public opinion in favor of their own cause. This was especially notable during World War I and World War II, where the government of each country involved used various media channels to spread propaganda, demonize the enemy, and promote their own ideologies. If one company like Meta has the authority to label and remove what they deem as misinformation, they essentially control the narratives that billions of people are exposed to. Anyone who goes against the narrative they've painted is publicly cancelled. Nowadays, with cancel culture, people are incentivized to police each other and label each other's opinions as politically correct or incorrect. They don't realize they're feeding into the big tech companies' narratives. When the majority of a population is fed the same news by the same sources with the same ideologies, the outcome can have extreme effects, shaping public opinion, influencing elections, and ultimately, even impacting the course of history. Meta's influence over society's political narratives became apparent during the US 2020 presidential election. Zuckerberg himself, on Joe Rogan's podcast, said that the FBI reached out to Meta prior to the US 2020 election, warning the company of potentially polarizing content coming from Russia. This was due to the Facebook posts made by Russia about Hunter Biden's laptop, ahead of the previous US presidential election in 2016. It turned out that the story about Hunter Biden was true, while Facebook censored stories about the laptop, branding them as misinformation and Russian propaganda. Another instance was the suspension of the New York Post's Facebook and Twitter accounts over a controversial article regarding Hunter Biden during the 2020 US presidential election period. While Twitter's CEO at the time, Jack Dorsey, apologized for the move, Zuckerberg defended his decision, raising serious questions about his stances on freedom of speech and the influence of social media giants. Remember, this is the company that already controls the content that over 3 billion people see every day. Now imagine a world where Meta dominates even more of the social media landscape. What conversations would be promoted? What narratives would be silenced? And what would be deemed as misinformation? The rise of Instagram Threads isn't just about an app trying to outdo its competition. If Threads manages to replace Twitter, it would give a single corporation complete control over our social infrastructure. It's a chess game, and with each move, Zuck is closing in on checkmate. Zuckerberg displayed his confidence in the metaverse by rebranding the company from Facebook to Meta in 2021. His ambitions extend beyond social media. The metaverse offers Zuck a chance to consolidate his authority and influence over the digital space. When a single entity possesses control over all of your personal information, it grants them the ability to exert control, manipulate, exploit, and potentially use your information against you, all without your knowledge or consent. Massive tech companies such as Google, Apple, and Microsoft are investing billions and employing the smartest minds from around the globe to create the metaverse. All of these tech companies know something that you might not. The growing convergence of the virtual and physical spaces implies that gaining control over the digital world will soon equate to having influence and authority over the real world. Apple's latest product, the Vision Pro glasses, are advertised as compatible with the metaverse. This is a clear indication of Apple's support of Zuckerberg's developing metaverse ecosystem. Microsoft, despite often being seen as one of Meta's competitors, has partnered with them to create Microsoft Teams, showcasing a behind-the-scenes camaraderie.
Microsoft has been at the heart of work in computing since the earliest days.
This emphasizes the broader reality that these companies, while maintaining a public image of rivalry, are actually working together to shape the future of the metaverse. Meta is already nearing complete control over our digital lives. According to statistics, the average American spends 6.5 hours a day on their phone, and Meta owns 5 of the 9 biggest platforms with the highest overall usage so far, not including Instagram Threads. The implications are clear. Control over the digital world equates to control over our lives. As the boundaries between digital and real become increasingly blurred, the concentration of power in Meta's hands creates apprehensions surrounding information security, data manipulation, and the potential for unbridled influence. Despite the controversies surrounding Meta, it's not operating in isolation. The list of notable tech giants investing heavily in the metaverse goes on, but here are some companies to name a few: Google, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Intel, Amazon, and Shopify. They're pooling their resources and merging their technological expertise to build this new virtual reality. Why? They understand the fundamental shift that is about to occur in how we interact with the digital world. Google's strategic investment in the metaverse is worth noting. As a company that dominates the search engine market and plays a significant role in the digital advertising ecosystem, its collaboration with Meta hints at the potential evolution of digital commerce and advertising in a metaverse-oriented future. On the other hand, Microsoft, a leading player in the development of advanced computing systems and artificial intelligence, is another substantial backer of the metaverse. Their involvement suggests the creation of sophisticated virtual environments with AI-driven characters and interactions. Nvidia, a powerhouse in creating graphics processing units, is also investing in the metaverse. Their technology could potentially render detailed, lifelike digital worlds, enhancing the user experience in this new reality. Even Apple, a company known for creating distinct, closed ecosystems for its products, is entering the game. Their latest product, the Vision Pro glasses, are metaverse compatible, indicating Apple's willingness to participate in the shared virtual space rather than creating an exclusive one. Amazon is making strides in the metaverse race with Amazon Sumerian, a suite for creating VR, AR, and 3D applications. Its immense customer base and unparalleled logistics network could potentially enhance its VR applications in the metaverse. This shift underscores the emerging dominance of tech giants like Amazon and Meta in shaping the digital future. Magnitude of investment in the metaverse is indicative of the significance these tech giants place on it. Meta alone has pledged $100 billion, a massive sum signaling a determined commitment to pioneer this new frontier of digital interaction. To put this into perspective, TikTok's parent company ByteDance has invested around $14 billion in AI research and development. Snapchat invested $2 billion in augmented reality tech, and Twitter a relatively modest $700 million towards its machine learning capabilities. This immense financial commitment to the metaverse by Meta and other tech giants reflects the profound change they're manifesting.
At this pivotal moment, I see several priorities for the global agenda.
A shift in the balance of power. As digital and physical worlds continue to intertwine, control over digital space will effectively translate into control over many aspects of our real-world lives, from commerce to communication, from entertainment to education. But what happens when the power to shape our digital, physical reality falls into the hands of a few tech giants? These companies already control vast amounts of our personal data, from our shopping habits to our search histories. Their influence is likely to amplify in a world where physical and digital realities merge. The risk of exploitation, censorship, and manipulation of information escalates, raising crucial questions about privacy, freedom, and democratic access to digital spaces. It's in this landscape that Meta launched Threads, a direct competitor to Twitter, and yet another step towards expanding its digital territory. Despite Twitter's modest investment in comparison, it still holds a unique position in our social media ecosystem. Yet the rise of Threads illustrates Meta's relentless strategy to monopolize our digital discourse, adding another piece to an already dominant empire. Instagram Threads has launched in more than 100 countries, racking up 10 million users in just 7 hours, a testament to Meta's overwhelming influence and marketing prowess. Twitter took 2 years just to reach 1 million users. The advent of Instagram Threads underscores a crucial debate around data privacy. One can't help but ask, how much of our personal lives are we willing to share with these tech behemoths?
I think that may be what this is all about. Your right to privacy, the limits of your right to privacy, and how much you give away in modern America in the name of, quote, connecting people around the world.
To fully comprehend the depths of this issue, we must closely examine Threads. The platform is more than just a text-sharing app. It's a pipeline feeding Meta's insatiable data collection machine. Threads doesn't just request access to your photos. It wants your location, your movement, your battery level, and your internet connection. This level of access goes far beyond what most apps require. Then there's the auto status feature. Threads is a silent data collector. It doesn't broadcast your exact location, but it gives context to your whereabouts. Whether you're on the move, at home, or at the coffee shop, all this information contributes to Meta's comprehensive user profiles, painting a detailed portrait of your digital life. Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey has openly criticized extensive data collection, highlighting a significant divide in the approach to user privacy across social media platforms. The inclusion of Threads and Meta's ever-growing arsenal of platforms heightens concerns around user privacy. It also underlines Meta's commitment to digital dominance and its readiness to push data collection boundaries to achieve its objectives. But are we fully aware of the trade-offs? Our data propels these platforms, and in return, we get efficiency and connection. But there's an unseen cost to this exchange. The expansion of Meta's empire, fueled by our personal information, could profoundly impact our digital experiences in ways we're only beginning to realize. A report by Amnesty International points out that, quote, "The surveillance-based business model of Facebook and Google is inherently incompatible with the right to privacy," end quote. The organization warns that our extensive digital footprints could be exploited in harmful ways, further underscoring the crucial debate around data privacy. As we experience the social media landscape evolving, it's crucial to question how much of our private lives we're willing to hand over. It's not merely about using an app. It's about understanding the implications of our digital choices in an increasingly interconnected world. Remember that every post, like, and share contributes to a broader narrative, a narrative being written not by us, but for us, by companies like Meta. Through Instagram Threads and its ambitions for the Metaverse, Meta continues to redefine the meaning of social media, potentially transforming it from a tool of communication into a tool of control. This has been Chronic Reality, where we talk about everything you should know to stay informed, no matter how controversial or politically incorrect. Thanks for joining us till the end of the video. Remember to drop a like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Till next time, stay curious.